Replay viewers, if you are using the app, you can tap to leave hearts. And if you are using the app or catch, you can fast forward and rewind. Hi Jessica, hi Patrice, hi Amy. I'm missing a few people. Welcome. I'm going to flip around. Hello. Hi Patrice. I am so glad you're here. Hi Angela McLeod. So I am Melissa from MakerySpace.com, and what I love to do is I love to equip and encourage and educate Etsy sellers with a lot of the left-brained aspects, hi Wendy, of running a creative business, specifically Etsy business, because that is where my expertise lies. So I just love to share the things that I've learned and that I'm learning, because I'm always learning, and the little tips that I discover. So today I want to talk about some of the things that I love the most as far as time savers, features and things that I do that save me time as a shop owner, time that can be spent creating product, designing product, developing other things with my business. So you just discovered a friend, Jessica. So I have 6 things that I want to talk about, and I would love it at the end if you add anything that you particularly like as a time saver if I have missed it. So the first thing is calculated shipping, and some of you know that I talk about calculated shipping a lot and really encourage people to try it because it is a big time saver. And a lot of people say it doesn't work right, it's overcharging my customers, or it's undercharging them and I'm having to pay when I go to ship it. That is pretty much always an error on our part as sellers if that happens. And there are things to look at to see what you might be missing. And I have a 2-part video tutorial on my blog, MakerySpace.com, that has some instructions for using the calculated shipping tool and also some pitfalls. Oh, well, welcome. Some pitfalls that some sellers fall into that cause it not to calculate correctly because it's not set up correctly. So if you go to MakerySpace.com and just do a search for calculated shipping in the search bar, you will find those 2 videos. I will also link them at MakerySpace.com/scope under today's little notes. Okay, so calculated shipping, huge time saver because you are not having to look at shipping tables ahead of time and try to figure out what you should charge on all of your listings when setting up manual shipping profiles. And yeah, that's great, Angela, to get your ducks in a row and kind of figure a little bit of this stuff out so you can just go into it running. If you do manual shipping profiles, you have to look at all the shipping tables, and then you have to estimate, like, if they buy 2 items, what are you going to put in there for with another item cost? And you might end up doing a lot of overcharging without meaning to, or you could even be undercharging. But if you want to sell internationally, that makes it even more difficult because the international prices are all over the board, depending on what country you're shipping to. But if you do calculated shipping, you put in the weight and dimensions of your particular listing, that item itself, and then you also put in your package preferences, like what kind of packaging you're going to use and what the dimensions are of that. And then once you have those things in place, so when somebody purchases something, the tool figures out based on weight and dimensions what they should be charged for shipping and just does it automatically. So whether it's to the United States or to France or to Australia or wherever you're sending it to, it calculates it based on the USPS rates. And then when the USPS rates change, which they do at least once a year, sometimes they have another adjustment in the middle of the year, then you don't have to worry about all that. It will just be taken care of for you and you won't be losing money, okay? So my second favorite thing is just using Etsy shipping labels. They make it so easy for us to send things right directly from our orders. It used to be when I first started selling on Etsy, I had to do it via PayPal. And in fact, when I first started selling, there wasn't even direct checkout. PayPal was the only payment option. So I did it that way. And then when direct checkout was introduced, it added more work because anybody that paid from direct checkout, I had to manually enter their address into PayPal into the multi-order shipping. So it was taking a lot of time to pull those orders over into PayPal, type them, and make sure I didn't make a mistake. So with Etsy shipping labels, now you just literally select the orders that you're going to ship, and the address is already there for you. And if you set up calculated shipping, the weight is even already plugged in for you, and you can adjust it if you need to, if maybe they ordered several things and it really doesn't weigh as much as it calculated. So it's just super easy, and then the shipping notification is sent right away. So everything is just really streamlined, and you can print straight from there. I hear of people saying, I do all my shipping labels off of Etsy. Even though they don't have multiple sales channels, I can understand, yeah, Sarah, they add a lot of great tools. I can understand if you're selling on Etsy, Shopify, eBay, your own site. If you have lots of channels, it might be smart to use a third-party shipping service because it's all pulled in for you and a lot easier to manage. But if you are only selling from a shop on Etsy, then I just don't even understand why you wouldn't want to use Etsy shipping labels, because there's no extra charge and everything is just right there for you. So huge time saver there. And related to that is what I showed in the beginning little picture before I started is my Dymo 4XL label writer, which is a thermal label printer. Jessica, I don't have a shop on Shopify yet, but I plan to do that this year. So my label printer is a huge time saver because it is integrated with Etsy shipping labels. It also can be integrated with PayPal if I ever need to. Sometimes I print from there, like if I sell something on Facebook or if I have a giveaway and I need to ship it, that kind of thing, I'll use PayPal. But it's integrated, and so it prints straight to that Dymo label printer, and it's thermal, which means it takes no ink, and it's weatherproof. So earlier in my shop, I had someone that helped me package and ship orders, and she accidentally dropped a bag of orders in the snow, the really slushy snow outside, and it ruined a whole bunch of labels that I had to redo because it was just the inkjet labels, with a sticky back. And so having a thermal label printer has helped tremendously because it's completely weatherproof. Okay. Now, this is something that it's not necessarily the best investment for you if you are a new shop or a small shop and you don't have the orders to justify it. It's a pretty spendy tool. When I bought it, it was, I think about I want to say it was $2.95 or something. I'd have to look back. I can't remember. Sometimes I think I say $2.95. I know, Amy, I love it. But maybe it's $1.95. Anyway, it's expensive. And then, so it was a big investment. So I didn't buy it right off. I waited until I had enough orders where it really was obvious that I was going to save time by having this label maker. There are other label makers you can use too if you aren't using Etsy shipping labels and don't have to worry about compatibility, that are a lot cheaper. But if you are selling on Etsy and you can't justify it yet, then just get the 2-up shipping labels that feed through your printer. You can get them for inkjet and laser, both, I believe. And you will have to feed through one side first. I think some people kind of tweak it and they take 2 labels and maybe put them together in I don't know if they do it like in Photoshop or something so that they can print 2 at once. Or maybe Etsy has that feature now. I know when I first did it on Etsy shipping labels using the ones that I fed through my printer, I could only print 1 at a time, and then I had to flip them around and feed them through to print the other label. So chime in if somebody uses the 8.5 by 11 sheet of 2 labels through your inkjet printer with Etsy shipping labels, and if you can do 2 at a time. But either way, that's a great option if your shop is not big enough to justify the Dymo 4XL, because you can still get all of your shipping labels printed right on Etsy. You feed through and flip. Okay. So that's number 3. So we've got calculated shipping, Etsy shipping labels, and the Dymo 4XL or other label printer. Another time saver I love is conversation snippets. That is where you can create a response, a canned response to maybe a question that you get a lot or a follow-up you need to give a lot for orders. For example, my custom labels. A lot of times people will order the custom labels, but they won't tell me what they want on the custom labels. So I have a conversation snippet they can automatically click on and send to that customer that requests the 6 category names they want on their labels, how many characters it can be, etc. So I'm not typing that every single time I need to answer that question or request a certain piece of information. And I think that there's like 10 that we can keep saved. I wish there were more, but I also have a conversation snippet that's like a signature that has my name, and then it has my Facebook, my website. Jessica, just a second, I'll tell you. It has my email sign up link, Instagram, all of that. So it's like a signature with all those things under it. And so I can end a conversation with that snippet. Jessica, there is a tutorial on MakerySpace. If you look up conversation snippets, then it will show you how to set those up. And you can create them, and then you can choose them. There's like, you'll see this little symbol when you're sending a convo where you can choose to send a snippet. Okay, great time saver. Another one, variations. I know a lot of you use those. Variations are so great because you don't have to be requesting in the product description. You don't have to be requesting a bunch of information that they need to leave in a note at checkout, and some of them might miss it or forget part of it. You can include as much as possible in those variations, because those variations have to actually be selected from the drop down before the item is added to the cart. So if you have things that the customer needs to choose before purchasing, they're forced to choose before they can actually purchase. And you're not having to constantly follow up on all those things. So it could be color, it could be size. There's all sorts of different variations that you can set up to have a customer choose from, save you that whole other communication end after the purchase is made. And then the last one I wanted to mention is Quick Edit. When you're in your listings manager, if you go to your active listings and you click Quick Edit, then it brings up a screen that has all the pertinent information on it. It has your title, it has your tags, your price, quantity, what am I forgetting? Your dimensions, if you use calculated shipping. So if you need to make some changes on some really basic things, you don't have to go into every single listing and change those things on an individual basis and then save it and then go to the next listing. So if you want to do like a price adjustment on all of the same type of product, you can do that super easily in Quick Edit. Or if you want to start using calculated shipping and you want to add dimensions for each product so that you can, just go into Quick Edit and add those dimensions there instead of going into each separate listing and taking all that time. You can also edit your tags there. It's a great way to visually look at what tags you're using and see, okay, am I spreading them out enough? Do I have several items where I have the exact same tags and I'm not really optimizing? You can really see it all at once and do that editing. I'm hoping they'll introduce some greater editing features in the future. It'd be great to be able to do a bulk edit of descriptions and that kind of thing. But for now, those things are really helpful to be able to just tackle quickly within the Quick Edit function. Okay, so those are 6 of my favorites. Does anyone else have a favorite time saver as a shop owner that they would like to share? Or do you have any questions about any of the ones that I mentioned? Yeah, on MakerySpace.com/scope, I will link to the calculated shipping tutorial and the tutorial for setting up conversation snippets, in case anyone's interested. Okay, so tomorrow will be Q&A, Ask Me Anything, since it's Friday. And then Monday, Wendy had submitted a couple of questions about wholesale. I have not done Etsy wholesale itself, but I'm going to, just a second, Patrice. I'm going to try to find out a few more things about Etsy wholesale just to answer her questions. But she also asked about purchasing supplies at wholesale for making things. And so I will give a few tips on that on Monday. So for setting up the Dymo, do you mean for using it with Etsy shipping labels? If that's the case, it's pretty easy. It's within, like on the shipping labels page under options, maybe. You get to choose the label printer that you're using. So when you get the Dymo, I think there's an installation CD. So that'll install all the drivers and everything that you need. And then within your Etsy account, in the shipping labels section under options, you can choose the Dymo 4XL. And so once that's chosen, that is what your Etsy shipping labels will print to. And then there's a place for choosing 4x6 too, in case that isn't done automatically. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, then I will see you tomorrow. Yes, that's something to definitely to look at in the future and maybe save towards too, so that you have the money to just buy it when you feel like your volume warrants it. All right, I'll see you tomorrow right around the same 10:30-ish time, give or take 15 minutes. And you're very welcome. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.